My dear child, before we begin, I want you to take a moment to breathe. Truly breathe. Let the weight of your worries fall away, even if only for a short while. I see how hard you've been holding on, how you've carried the burdens of yesterday and the anxieties of tomorrow. But here, in this moment, I invite you to rest with me. Have you ever felt as though life's burdens were too heavy to carry, as if your heart was stretched thin and your spirit weary? I know you have. You may have wondered, why does it feel like no one understands? But I need you to know this. I understand. I've been with you in those sleepless nights when you couldn't stop replaying every regret, every fear, every unanswered prayer. I remember the moments you tried to be strong for everyone else while quietly breaking inside. I remember the times you held back your tears to be the steady hand in someone else's storm. You've whispered prayers that no one else has heard, and every word has reached me. I've been there for every whispered "help me," every silent plea. You might think you've gone unnoticed, that your pain is hidden behind the mask you wear every day. But I see you, and I've always seen you. You are never invisible to me. Even when you've felt lost in the noise of the world, you've never been lost to me. I need you to know that you didn't stumble upon this message by accident. I brought you here because I have something to tell you. You are loved beyond comprehension. No mistake you've made, no regret you carry, and no pain you've endured can separate you from the depth of my love for you. I've walked through every valley with you, stayed beside you when others left, and whispered to your heart when you felt unheard. And today, I am asking you to let go of the fear that keeps you from feeling my peace. Don't be afraid to lean into my embrace. You don't have to figure everything out right now. You don't have to carry the answers. You just need to trust that I do. You just need to trust that I do. As you listen, I want you to hear my voice in your heart. Not a voice of judgment, but a voice of comfort. I am here to remind you that there is no burden too heavy, no scar too deep, and no moment too broken for my love to reach you. I am your refuge, your strength, and your shelter from every storm. You may have come here feeling tired, but you will leave with your spirit renewed. You are safe with me, you are cherished, and no matter what the world says, you are never alone. Now let's walk this path together and see the blessings I have prepared for you. My beloved child, take a moment to let this truth sink into your heart. You are deeply, unconditionally loved. I don't just love you when you've done everything right. I don't love you more when you're successful or less when you struggle. My love for you is steady, unwavering, and eternal. Exercise faith. Apply it to your life. Rejoice in the power and perfection of living. I see you, every part of you, and I love you, not in spite of your imperfections, but completely as you are. I know there have been moments when you've doubted this. You've looked in the mirror and seen only flaws. You've replayed your mistakes, convinced that they define you. But listen closely. Those mistakes don't speak louder than my love. Your past doesn't have the final word. My love does. When I created you, I did so with joy. I shaped your heart, your dreams, and your soul with intentional care. You were never an afterthought. I wove into you a beauty that no one else can replicate, and when I look at you, I don't see failures or regrets. I see my beloved child, carrying a heart that reflects my own. Maybe you've spent a lot of your life trying to earn approval from family, from friends, even from yourself. You've carried the weight of expectations and disappointments. You've measured your worth by the standards of others, and each time you felt you fell short, you wondered if you were worthy of love at all. But I need you to hear this. You don't have to earn my love. You don't have to prove that you're enough, because you already are. I knew you before you took your first breath. I saw every chapter of your life before you lived it, and I still chose you. I still called you mine. There were times when you wondered if anyone noticed your pain, if anyone saw you crying in the quiet when no one else was watching. But I did. I was there. When you felt invisible to the world, you were never invisible to me. I have been with you in every moment, the good and the bad, the joyful and the painful. And here's something I need you to know. My love doesn't waver when you struggle. It doesn't fade when you feel weak. I am not disappointed in you because you're still figuring things out. I never expected you to be perfect. I only asked you to trust that my love is perfect. When you feel unworthy, remember this. I don't love a version of you that doesn't exist. I love the real you, the one who's messy, the one who's hurting, the one who's healing. I love the version of you that's trying, even when you feel like you're failing. You don't have to hide your wounds from me. I see them and I want to heal them. My love isn't here to judge you, it's here to restore you. When the world points fingers and keeps records of wrongs, I open my arms. I don't keep a list of your mistakes. Instead, I call you to rest in my grace, to let go of guilt and walk freely in the truth of who you are to me. Do you know what I see when I look at you? I see someone courageous, someone who has fought battles that others know nothing about. I see someone who has stood up after falling, again and again. You may feel weak, but I see strength in your resilience. You may feel lost, but I see how far you've come. Even when you feel like you've taken steps backward, I see your heart that still longs for something more, something good, and I am the source of that goodness. Let my love be the place you come home to. It's not a race or a test. It's not a finish line you need to reach. It's a refuge, a place where you can let your guard down and just be. There is no shame that my love cannot cover, no fear that it cannot calm. When you feel overwhelmed by the weight of your worries, picture yourself in my embrace. Imagine my arms holding you, not with judgment, but with comfort. Feel the steadiness of my love grounding you, keeping you safe, reminding you that you are never alone. End of poem 102, recorded in 2020. You've spent so much time trying to hold things together, trying to fix what's broken, trying to be strong for everyone else. But now, I want you to let me be strong for you. I want you to rest, not in your ability to figure it all out, but in my ability to carry you. Whispers of doubt. When you wonder if you're too broken to be loved, remember that I've already spoken the truth over you. You are precious. You are chosen. You are enough. So stop running from grace. You don't have to hide or pretend. Come as you are. My love isn't waiting for you to be better. It's already here, wrapped around you, holding you in every moment of your life. Let it be your foundation and your guide. Walk in the light of that love. Breathe it in and know you are fully known and fully loved, always. Stay here with me and feel the glow of the light. My beloved child, I know the fears that keep you up at night. I see the way your heart races when uncertainty knocks on your door. I know the questions that fill your mind. What if I fail? What if I'm not strong enough? What if everything falls apart? These fears are loud, but they are not the truth. I need you to hear this. Fear does not come from me. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. I understand that life can be overwhelming. There are moments when the weight of the unknown feels like too much to bear, when challenges seem too big, and your strength feels too small. But even in those moments, I want you to know this. You are not facing the storm alone. I am with you, standing beside you, holding you steady when everything else feels uncertain. Think back to the moments in your life when you felt surrounded by darkness, but somehow you made it through. That wasn't luck or coincidence. It was me. I was the strength that held you up when you thought you would fall. I was the whisper of hope when your heart was filled with doubt. And I am still the same now, as I was then. I know the future feels unclear sometimes. You may be facing a mountain of challenges, financial worries, health concerns, family struggles, and you're wondering how you'll make it through. But listen closely. I have already gone before you. I am making a way where there seems to be no way. The obstacles that look insurmountable to you are not insurmountable to me. I don't ask you to ignore your fears, but I do ask you to trust me more than you trust the fear. You may feel small, but I am greater than anything you will ever face. There is no storm too fierce, no battle too great, and no challenge too difficult that I cannot overcome. You don't need to have all the answers, because I do. You don't need to see the whole path. Just take the next step, and I will be there to guide you. Do you remember the story of Peter walking on water? He stepped out of the boat with courage, but when he saw the wind and waves, fear made him sink. But even as he sank, I didn't let him drown. I reached out my hand and lifted him up. You may feel like Peter sometimes, stepping out in faith, only to be overwhelmed by the storm. But I need you to know this: even when you feel like you're sinking, I will not let you fall. My hand is always there, ready to pull you back to safety. Fear will try to tell you that you're alone, that you're not strong enough, that your circumstances are too difficult to overcome. But fear is a liar. You are not defined by your struggles, you are defined by my promises. And my promise to you is this: I will never leave you or forsake you. When you pass through deep waters, I will be with you. When you walk through fire, you will not be burned. No matter how strong the winds of life may blow, they cannot tear you from my embrace. I know you're tired of fighting. You've carried so much for so long, but you don't have to fight alone anymore. Let me be your strength. Let me carry the burdens that have weighed you down. When you feel like you have nothing left to give, remember that my power is made perfect in your weakness. You don't have to do this by yourself. I never asked you to. Your fear may be loud, but I am louder. Your worries may be many, but my peace is greater. When the storm rages around you, listen for my voice, because it will always remind you of the truth. You are more than a conqueror. You are stronger than you think, because I am with you. When the enemy whispers lies, saying you're not enough, respond with faith. I am not alone. My God fights for me. When life feels overwhelming, raise your hands in surrender and say, I may not know how this will end, but I know who holds my future. Each time you choose faith over fear, your spirit grows stronger, your heart steadier, and your courage unshakable. The world will tell you that challenges are proof that you're losing, but I tell you the opposite. Challenges are opportunities for your faith to rise. The bigger the storm, the greater the miracle I am preparing for you. Do not let fear steal your peace. Do not let doubt silence your prayers. Do not let setbacks make you forget that victory is already yours. I pray you incline your head to me and thank you in the Lord's name. Yours in mercy. You may not see the victory yet, but I do. I see the day when you will look back and realize that every challenge was shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for something greater. You will see how each step of faith, even the trembling ones, brought you closer to a life filled with peace and joy. So, my beloved child, take heart. Do not be afraid of what's ahead. When the world says, give up, I say, stand firm. When fear says, you can't do this, I say, with me you can. The battle may be fierce, but it is not yours to fight alone. I am with you, and I always will be. So rise up with courage, knowing that you are not only surviving, you are overcoming. This is not the end of your story. Your story is one of victory, and I will see you through to the very end. My beloved child, take a moment and breathe in deeply. Can you feel the life within you? That breath, that heartbeat? It's a reminder that you are here, alive, and surrounded by my grace. No matter how many burdens you carry, you've made it to this moment, and that alone is reason enough to be grateful. I know life hasn't been easy. You've walked through seasons of scarcity, disappointment, and uncertainty. You've faced heartbreak that made you question whether things would ever get better. And yet, you're still standing. You're still hoping, still believing, even if only by a thread. But let me tell you this: gratitude doesn't require perfect circumstances. It requires a heart that's willing to see my goodness in the middle of the storm. Gratitude isn't about ignoring your struggles. It's about remembering who stands with you in those struggles. It's about recognizing that even in the valley, I have never left your side. When the world says you don't have enough, gratitude whispers, but look at what you do have. Gratitude doesn't silence your pain, it strengthens your faith. It reminds you that even though you may not have everything you want right now, I have already given you everything you need to take the next step. Do you remember that morning when you didn't want to face the day, but somehow found the strength to get up? That wasn't coincidence, that was grace. Do you remember when you received comfort from an unexpected place? A kind word, a gentle hug, a quiet moment of peace? That was my love, showing up to remind you that you're not alone. Gratitude begins when you shift your focus from what's missing to what's present. You may feel overwhelmed by the challenges ahead, but I ask you now, pause, look around, and notice the small blessings. The sunrise that lit the sky today, that was for you. The breath in your lungs, the love of the people who care for you, the laughter that still finds its way into your life. All of it is proof that my goodness has never stopped flowing toward you. When you bring your worries to me, don't forget to also bring your thanks. Gratitude is a doorway. It opens your heart to peace, even when life feels chaotic. Gratitude shifts your prayers from "why is this happening?" to "thank you for walking with me through this." I know it's not always easy to be thankful in the middle of hardship, but gratitude is not about ignoring your challenges. It's about trusting that even in the challenges, I am working all things together for your good. Let me remind you of something. Your trust in me is an act of faith that reaches my heart. When you choose to say, "thank you," even in this storm, you're not just showing strength, you're declaring that you believe my promises are true, even before they unfold. You're reminding your spirit that I am faithful, even when the path ahead looks unclear. You don't need to wait for everything to be perfect before you give thanks. Trust begins when you say, "even if I don't see the outcome yet, I believe it's coming." Gratitude is not just about celebrating the blessings you already have. It's about trusting me for the blessings yet to come. Do you remember the story of the Israelites wandering in the desert? They were surrounded by uncertainty that I provided for them every single day. Manna fell from heaven, enough for each day's needs. And though they longed for more, I was teaching them to trust me daily, to see that my provision doesn't run dry, even when the road ahead feels long. Here, born on the wings of the wind, it would be Ursula's right true path. Just like them, I'm asking you to trust me one day at a time. You may not have all the answers right now, but that's okay. You have me, and I am enough. Trust doesn't mean you'll never feel fear. It means you choose to take the next step anyway, knowing that I am guiding your every move. When things don't go as planned, I ask you to say these words aloud. Thank you for being with me, even when life feels hard. Thank you for carrying me when I couldn't carry myself. Let your gratitude be a song that drowns out the noise of doubt. When you feel your heart growing anxious, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, my blessings have always outnumbered the burdens. When you trust me fully, you begin to see how the pieces of your life fit together. What once felt like chaos becomes a tapestry of grace. When you trust me, you stop fearing what's ahead, because you remember who holds your future. So today, I'm inviting you to choose gratitude. Not as a way to ignore your reality, but as a way to embrace my reality. My reality is filled with promises, peace, and purpose. My reality is one where no season of suffering is wasted and no tear goes unnoticed. Trust me to provide what you need, not just in the form of material blessings, but in the form of peace, wisdom, and joy. Let your gratitude for what you already have be the foundation for what I am preparing to give you next. And when you feel weak, remember this: you don't need perfect faith to move forward. You just need enough faith to say, "Thank you, Lord, for being with me." When you open your heart to gratitude, you open your heart to miracles. When you choose trust over worry, you make room for my peace to fill your life. You don't need to carry every burden on your own. Lay it at my feet and say, "Thank you, Father, for being my strength. Trust me with your today and your tomorrow." And remember, gratitude and trust are not just feelings, they are choices. And every time you choose gratitude, you're drawing closer to the blessings I've already written into your story. So as you go through this day, take a moment to notice the small gifts: the gentle breeze, the laughter of someone you love, the quiet moments where you feel my presence. These are my reminders that I am near. And when the road feels uncertain, trust that I am already working things out for your good. Keep thanking, keep trusting, and know that you are never walking alone. And then that human heart that tends to be lonely at times, contracted and loosened. While it is hard, a beloved child, before you step away from this moment, I want you to pause, truly pause, and take in everything you've heard. Let it settle in your heart like a quiet whisper. You are here because I've called you by name, because I've seen your weary soul searching for peace, and I want you to know you've never been alone. I remember every season you've walked through. I was there in your moments of joy, cheering with you when things went right. But I was also there in your quiet tears, when you felt misunderstood and unseen. I was there when you whispered, "Why me?" and when your heart cried out, "How much longer?" You may have thought that your prayers fell into silence, but not a single word has ever been lost. Every please, every help me, every thank you, I heard it all. And more than hearing, I've been responding, even in ways you may not have recognized. Sometimes my answer has been the strength you felt when you thought you couldn't take another step. Sometimes it was the unexpected call from a friend when you needed to be reminded that someone cares. Sometimes it was simply the breath in your lungs, a sign that I'm sustaining you, moment by moment. You see, my beloved, you don't have to wait for some grand miracle to know that I'm with you. Miracles often arrive quietly, wrapped in the ordinary, the sunrise after a long night, the way your heart softens in prayer, the calm that comes when you surrender what you cannot control. All of these are reminders of my presence. And yet, I know that it's hard to trust when life feels uncertain. I know that sometimes you want answers now. You want to see the full picture before you step forward. But trust doesn't require full understanding. It requires full surrender. Trust is saying, even if I don't know the way, I know who is guiding me. I know you're tired of carrying so much. You've tried to be strong for so long. Strong for your family, strong for your friends, strong even when you felt like you were breaking inside. But you don't have to carry everything alone. My shoulders are broad enough to carry your burdens. My hands are steady enough to hold you when you feel like you're falling. So right now, I invite you to let go. Picture yourself releasing every weight you've been holding, every fear of the future, every regret from the past, every worry about today. Imagine my hands reaching out to you, taking each of those burdens away. Feel the lightness that begins to fill your heart. That's what trust looks like. It's the freedom that comes when you stop trying to hold everything together and let me hold you instead. And when fear tries to sneak back in, when doubt whispers that you're not enough or that things will never change, speak these words aloud. I trust you, Lord. You've never failed me before, and you won't fail me now. Let those words anchor you when the waves of life feel too strong. I want you to walk away from this moment with courage, not because life will suddenly be perfect, but because you've remembered who walks with you. I want you to lift your head and stand tall, knowing that you are wrapped in my grace and guarded by my love. You are not defined by your past mistakes or your unanswered questions. You are defined by my promises. You know what I see when I look at you? I see a warrior, resilient, brave, and stronger than you realize. You've endured more than most people know, and yet, here you are, still standing. That's not weakness, that's victory. And the story I'm writing for you is not over yet. Sometimes, the hardest part of the journey is the waiting. I know how hard it is to wait, to believe that something good is on the horizon when all you can see are closed doors. But remember this, my timing is perfect. While you wait, I am working behind the scenes, aligning every detail for your good. When you feel restless, trust that the pause is not punishment, it's preparation. You may not know how everything will work out, but you don't have to. I've already gone ahead of you to clear the path. I've already fought battles you didn't even know you'd face. The future that feels so uncertain to you is already secure in my hands. You don't have to rush ahead or try to force things into place. Just rest in the knowledge that I am already there, working all things together for your good. Gratitude is the key to that rest. When your heart is anxious, pause and remember the moments of grace that have brought you this far. Take a breath and say, thank you. Even when things feel difficult, gratitude shifts your heart from fear to faith. It opens your eyes to see how my goodness surrounds you, even in the smallest details. So I ask you to take this practice with you as you step back into your day. When things feel overwhelming, pause and speak a simple prayer of gratitude. Thank you, Lord, for being with me in this moment. When you feel the weight of your responsibilities, take a breath and whisper, I am not alone. When things go right, don't forget to pause and say, I see your goodness, Lord. Let gratitude be the anchor that holds you steady. Let trust be the light that guides your path. The road ahead may not be free of challenges, but I promise you this, you will not walk it alone. I am with you in every step, in every breath, in every prayer. So, my beloved, lift your eyes and move forward with confidence. The world may try to tell you that you're not enough, but I have already declared, you are mine and you are more than enough. When life feels uncertain, let my peace calm your heart. When you feel lost, let my love guide you home. Never forget that you belong in the power of the silence, and our presence confirms our reality. As you leave this moment, remember that my presence goes with you. My love is your shield, my grace is your strength, and my promises are your foundation. Breathe deeply, feel the peace that fills you now. This peace is not temporary, it is my gift to you. You don't have to earn it or fight for it. It is yours because you are mine. Now take that first step into the rest of your day, knowing that you are held, cherished, and protected. When you need reassurance, come back to this truth. You are loved with an everlasting love, and you will never walk alone. I bless you with joy, peace, and courage for the journey ahead. And when the noise of the world grows loud, return to this place of stillness and remember, I am always here, always near. I love you, yesterday, today, and forever. Amen.